Okay. Hello. Hello, 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 hi. I am Spantopia Rose, but you can call me Span. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? I forgot to turn my light on. One moment. Blinding, blinding. Okay. I now have a second ring light here. So I thought we would do a quick check-in and chat. Just a quick little check-in and chat about listen. About autism and my autism diagnosis that I got one month ago. I've had my autism diagnosis for 1 month now, and yeah, it's a lot to come to terms with. I want to talk about it, obviously, a lot. I want to share, I want to just get rid of any stigma around autism and just all disabilities in general, anxiety, all that sort of stuff. Other disabilities that I have. And yeah, I want to talk about a couple of things today. I don't have a script for this, and I feel like I should have written down some thoughts, but I realised that this morning when I was at the doctor's surgery, I had to write down the date. I realised that today is exactly the day, 1 month ago, that I did the test and went through the assessment and all of that, and I was like, that feels like it was both just yesterday, and it also feels like it was so long ago. It's one of those things that, because I've had autism all of my life, I have had all the symptoms all my life, that sort of thing, but not really known what it was called, that it both feels very new and very old at the same time, which is a weird marrying of conflicting ideas and emotions. There's a couple of symptoms I want to talk about just that I've noticed in the last month specifically, and one of them is called echolalia, which is repetition, and now because I've been sorry, I just got distracted because my ring, it's a spinning ring. I bought it. It doesn't exactly fit me, it falls off, but I bought it last week or a week before that. I bought it last week, and I had to go to 5 different jewelers to find one that had a spinny bit in the middle, and it's just a fidget, so it's supposed to stop me from biting and picking at my nails by using it as like a fidget spinner sort of thing. And I've got other stim toys, so it's a bit of a stim toy. Here's one that I bought that I don't particularly like. It's supposed to make bubble wrap. Oh, so loud. I suppose it could be a ASMR trigger toy. Anyway, what was I saying before? What was I saying before that? I'm so distracted. I really should have planned this, but I wasn't even going to do a video today, so I'm like extra all over the place with this because I went to the doctor's this morning and I'm going to Canberra this evening, and I just had a little amount of time, and because I realised it was the exactly 1 month later, I was like, I should check in and chat about that, so you can see how my distracted brain works. So yeah, it both feels like something I've had for a very long time and something that I've only newly been diagnosed with, which is both correct. So the symptoms I was going to talk about are echolalia, which is repetition of things that you hear, and I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I don't repeat things. I mean, I do repeat things out loud. I often say the same. I'll say the same. I'll just keep saying the same thing like that. But it's also about mimicking movies and doing movie quotes, and I do a lot of that. My whole family does though, and it just feels like quotes are something that we use in language, and apparently not everyone does this. Like, how good are chips? There's so many of them, but It's also like getting bits of songs stuck in your head, but like only little bits, or like repeating words that you've heard that day or things that people have said and saying them to yourself. I do it in my mind. I think things again and again and again, repetitively, and I will just, so there's this raven called Fable, who had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Fable. She's 3, and I'll link to her in the doobly-doo. But she goes boop boop, boop boop, mwah, mwah, boop boop, and that sound, that boop boop, is just, it's in my brain, man. It's like, it is always there. I just suddenly will go boop boop, or in my brain I'll be, I don't know, reading my emails, and then a little voice in my head just goes boop boop for no concept, no reason, no real concept of why this happens. And things like scripting conversations, it's not so much that I have an exact script word for word, it's more that I practice what I'm going to say before I go. So I actually had a bad time this morning going to the doctor's, because I only made the appointment yesterday and hadn't been confirmed by this morning. So at 8:10 I had to answer a phone call. I don't know how good you are with phone calls, but I cannot. The phone is just so much anxiety. But I had to answer it because I had this problem that I had to be at the doctor's in literally 20 minutes, and I didn't know who lived, I lived 20 minutes out of town, so it was going to take exactly that long, and I had to leave like now, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have a doctor's appointment or not, so I didn't want to go into town if I didn't have a doctor's appointment, but I didn't want to not go in case I did. So then I had to answer the phone when the surgery rang me to confirm that yes, they did have the appointment there, which is all very last minute, very panicky, very stressing. I had to answer the phone. And then I was in the shower and I was rehearsing the things that I would say to the doctor, like how I would say it, how to describe the like symptoms I was having, that sort of thing. And then I realized maybe people just go to the doctor and then say what their symptoms are without having to rehearse it for like 4 hours first. I also didn't sleep last night because I was too busy worried about whether or not I had this appointment in the morning or not. I did sleep a little bit, but I'm not sure how much. Oh no, my timing, my battery's red and flashing at me. Okay, so I just wanted to also say another symptom that I've been having a lot lately is like flabby hands and picky skin and like physical stimming stuff. That's been a lot recently, and just the special interest of autism in itself. I'm only looking at content about autism, and I want to make content about autism because while there is a lot of good content out there, and I urge you to look it up and research it, especially if you think you're on the spectrum yourself, just go and get lived experiences and see if you relate to me or people like me. And I watch so many TikTok compilations that I actually got TikTok, and I'm now on that platform as well, just absorbing as much information as I can. Yeah, and it just kind of feels a little bit, because I've had these symptoms for so long. Like masking is a huge one. I'm doing it right now. I can feel it so bad. But masking is like where you put on a brave face and you control yourself, and then you go do the thing. Like you go to school, you go to work, you go to visit friends, you go to the doctors. So that's a huge thing, which is just, I've always known that I've done that, but I've never had a name for it, and I didn't know that it was like a thing that I did. Like I didn't know it was a symptom. I just assumed everybody had to put on a brave face and do things. But yeah, so I do this thing called masking, and when I try not to mask, I just cry. I get really upset about it, and apparently this is very common, and that people have a hard time going on their unmasking journey to find like who they are. And my identity crisis, having a huge identity crisis right now, because who am I if I'm not masking? What is autism? Who am I if I'm autistic? Who am I if I'm not? I don't know. I'm just having a huge identity crisis, and I kind of feel like I've been gaslighting myself my whole life, because I've had all these symptoms and I've been like, oh no, don't worry about it, it's not a problem, or I've been like, it's okay, you can do it, just take big breaths, it's fine, or like, it doesn't really hurt that much, doesn't hurt that much, it's fine, doesn't hurt that much. And you're like, oh no, those lights can't be hurting me, there's no physical way that those lights can be hurting me right now. Like, but they were. But so I felt myself telling myself that I was just crazy. But I'm not crazy. I'm autistic. I actually do experience the world differently to other people. And all my life I've been trying not to experience the world differently to other people. So I've been pretending and masking and doing all these things to fit into a neurotypical society when I'm not a neurotypical person. And it's like, instead of being really bad at being a neurotypical person, I'm actually pretty good at being an autistic person. So that's taking a lot of learning to do. Yeah, I think that the hardest thing is not knowing that I'm masking, because I have different levels of masking, right? So I'm masking to myself. And you know how bad things are when you're like out doing something fun and then you close the door behind you and you just start crying and hyperventilating and shaking your hands and you're like, oh my god. Just because of, I guess, overstimulation, which I guess I always thought other people had a hard time, but I didn't really realize that closing a door and immediately having like a panic attack without the outside world was so symptomatic. And then just being able to take a deep breath, wipe my eyes, and then go back out there and keep masking. Like, I didn't realize that this was like such a bad thing. I guess I didn't think everyone did it. I just was hiding the fact that I did it. Yeah. And then I'd be like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. And I just keep telling myself, I'd repeating the things that make me okay. But then still in my mind, I wouldn't be okay. And then I would have this conflict of everything is fine, I feel terrible, and I have an anxiety disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, which makes me worry about everything, which is, I think, is why I can't accept I don't have much acceptance for this autism diagnosis that I have. I'm still really like nervous about it and worried about it and thinking about it constantly. But it is only 1 month in, so I'm going to calm down and just leave it there with this very quick little update video, because it's not today's video. It won't be up on the 19th. It'll be up probably on Wednesday or Friday. But yeah, just a little, I thought I would check in and chat, see where I'm at, see where you're at. If you have any questions at all, if you want me to do a video about certain things like echolalia or masking or how I got my diagnosis or any of those things, more than happy to chat about it. I just don't know what to say right now. But yeah. Boop boop. Alright. It's like it's a tick, but it's not a tick because it's completely voluntary. I know exactly what I'm doing and I just go boop boop. It's just there. Anyway, okay. I hope that this is a good video. I hope I put it up. Okay. Alright. I will see you in the next video. Okay. Good night, good night, good night, good night, sleep well, good night, sleep well, good night, sleep well. How do you turn this thing off?